Monday morning had Deep Purple blaring through the system. This morning in the hallway before anybody got here, it's like 5 o'clock. Smoke on the water. Speaking of smoking on the water, Planet 13 Complex is our sponsor today. Neat shirt sponsors today's show. It's your experimental light exposed cannabis company. It is located in Las Vegas, Nevada, USA. So Planet 13, good to have you aboard. It is Monday, April 3rd. It is, Andy. It was Saturday. It was April Fool's Day. You know, the whole situation is such a joke that nobody on Saturday could have topped what's going on in real life. And nobody tried. I didn't try to do any pranks, Andy. No pranks. I was pranked out. Today, I said, is April 3rd. It is World Party Day. Look it up, Google. We bringing it to you every Monday. Today is World Party Day on April 3rd. The slogan for today is pass the food and turn up the music. Andy, that is cool. So gather your friends and stock up some supplies, everybody. Seriously. It's also, that was World Party Day. April 3rd is also National Don't Go to Work Unless It's Fun Day. So I guess we're here, Andy, so I must be having fun. Who makes this crap up anyway? Who's in charge of what day it is? You know, those of you shaking your heads, Google it. Andy, it was windier than crap this weekend. Things are blown away. You take the dog out, you got to tether them to you because it'll blow away. It's crazy. We talked about it last week. We talked about it a week before. Andy, what's the total today, Monday morning? 29, 28 dead? Countless missing, tornadoes again last week. They went from the South to the Midwest, freaking everywhere. They were from Delaware to Arkansas. And they blew through Michigan. I had all my friends in Michigan posting, duck and cover, remember? That's when we were in grade school. And it seems to everyone, it seems like to me, like the United States is like the punching bag for bad weather. I mean, doesn't it? You know, and nasty weather, and it's beating us up. And you ever notice that, Andy? Everybody else, it's like, you got to blame geography. You know, the United States, we got two oceans, the Gulf of Mexico, Rocky Mountains, Appalachians Mountains, the Great Lakes, jutting peninsulas like Michigan and Florida. And you got the jet stream that kind of just runs right through the middle of the country. So that's a disaster for like the nastiest weather there can be. Tornadoes, hurricanes, flash floods, droughts, wildfires, blizzards, bomb cyclones, nor'easters, lake effect snow, atmospheric rivers, not to be confused with the Mississippi River, and of course heat waves. We're having a heat wave, but you know it's like we get it all. It's like we're at a weird place on the globe. You know, China, Russia, they have more people, and they have a bigger landmass. But if you look at it, they're more enclosed. Even the European continent they don't have the clash of air masses like we do in the United States. It's like we're just sitting freaking ducks. You know, you look at the world statistics or whatever, Andy, it's like, we are the king of tornadoes. You know, it's like they're almost an American phenomenon. Not only that, Andy, but I think that, you know, okay, we got bad weather, we got, you know, crappy weather, we got this, we got that, but things aren't built like they used to be. Houses aren't built like they used to be. People that know me away from the studio know that I work part-time, you know, working on houses and doing things like that. Now, the older houses are much better made than the newer house. Oh, they're new and improved so you can have brunch sitting out on the balcony. Yeah, the balcony's made aluminum. Boom, it falls down. Everybody's like hurt. You know, I've seen it 100 times. So we have cheap labor, cheap plastic, everything. I mean, look at Tonka toys are a good example. When I was a kid, in Michigan, you could kill a moose. You could go out camping with a Tonka truck and just drop a moose with it. Now, they're plastic. You break out my Tonka truck. It's the way we make things. So, you know, you got all that and figuring in, you know, factors. You know, I've lived in the Midwest, Nebraska, and traveled a little in that area, and, you know, I could not understand why anybody would want to build a mobile home in Tornado Alley. Tornado Alley. It sounds tough, don't it? You know? Speaking of like tornadoes and weather and stuff, I hear tomorrow, April 4th, Tuesday, the weather should be a little stormy. Andy, a little stormy, everybody. See what I did there, Andy? That is, you know, we're making history. We're making history, Andy. Nixon was a crook. Even though Nixon said, I am not a crook. Surely he was. Former President Trump was indicted last week by a Manhattan grand jury in a historic reckoning after years of lawsuits, you know, allegations and investigations into his personal, political, business dealings. The exact nature, Andy, have we seen it yet? Okay. You know, it is later back east. There is a time difference, so, okay. The exact nature of the charges are kind of murky, but however, they no doubt stem from the payments made during the 2016 presidential campaign to silence, not the lambs, Andy, no, to silence the affair with Stormy Daniels. Now, Trump has denied any wrongdoing, as he always does. But remember now, remember, there's a big piece of this that you got to look at. Michael Cohen was Trump's lawyer and basically his fixer for years. Michael got a 3-year sentence for basically the same things that we're talking about with Trump. He was sentenced in 2018 and served the time for the crimes that he committed in 2016, which was campaign finance fraud, bank fraud, tax fraud, and he lied to the Senate, a la Bill Clinton not having sex. Cohen was a witness for the prosecution grand jury testimony and is expected to testify against Trump. Okay, how's that working because of the attorney? Is the attorney-client privilege canceled if you commit crimes and, go to prison or whatever? First of all, I'm hearing and seeing everyone. Well, Bill Clinton did the same exact thing in payoffs. Short answer on that is no, he did not. Let me explain. Okay, they both committed payoffs. Okay, I will grant you that, but let me explain. Paula Jones, it was Kathleen Wiley. There was Juanita Broderick, Monica Lewinsky. We know the names and we know the payoffs. Okay, it's well documented. Here's the difference between the Trump indictment and what Michael Cohen already did. Cohen already did time for, and the Clinton. Clinton used personal money from him and Hillary. Hillary was mad. He used personal monies from Hillary, his accounts, and his law firm to pay off Paula Jones, Kathleen, Juanita, and Monica. Okay? And then he admitted to doing so. Okay. Trump, on the other hand, and Michael Cohen, used campaign money donations, which is a violation of campaign finance laws. Okay, you can't use campaign money to use under-the-table payments to porn stars. It's not in there explicitly, but the whole law is pretty much explicitly written. So the spirit of the law is like you can't do that. Okay, now, yeah, Clinton. He was involved in a lot of crap. Whitewater, Andy, we had Travelgate, Filegate, Benzagi, emails, Jones, Lewinsky. We all know about the Clintons. Bill's taking accountability. It's been thrown out into Congress. Okay? For the most part, you can Google it. It's like, okay, he paid Paula Jones X number of dollars, and it came from his and Hillary's account. Cohen says it was campaign money, and he shows the paper trail. Hence the indictment. The spirit of campaign finance says you can't just use that money. You have to use it for your campaign. Whether it be advertising, travel expenses to be on the campaign trail, but paying off porn stars is not a part of it. Okay? Trump's still shifting the blame, pointing at others, while denying for the most part that it even happened. And that's how it's always been with him. But Cohen did time for it, so Trump is denying it happened, though the lawyer already did time for it. So, I've talked about, I grew up in Detroit, until junior high. And my mom's family is from New York. Okay, my oldest brother graduated in 1965, which makes him the same graduating class as Donald Trump. Okay? He's the same age. The family has money. I know about the name. Okay, I have family in the New York City and New York State area. I've been back there. I'm aware of the Trump name. I'm aware that the family has a name. It's a very well-known family if you're from back east. We also know other things that the average voters or the average person that's not from back east. I'm pulling it up, Andy. I got my notes. But, There's things that he's done that he denies the very thing that Michael went to jail for. It even happened. In Trump Airlines in 1988, with gold-plated bathroom fixtures and what are they, armrests and stuff, is bankrupt 2 years later. Okay, by default. Couldn't even pay the bill. Couldn't even pay the gold shitters that they were sitting on. He put a game out with Milton Bradley called The Game. It was sort of like Monopoly on steroids. There was only, they projected 5 million to 10 million units to be sold. They only sold 800,000, disbanded. Started Andy when started 89, done by 91. The Trump casinos. Now, I'm just talking about stuff in my lifetime that I know about from being back home in the summer and hanging out in New York area, the New Jersey area, the same place. I just read the paper, hearing people talk. Trump casinos. It's always baffled me how we're in a business where the House always wins. He filed bankruptcy and restructuring between 91 and 2004 3 times. They're gone. They're being torn down. The casinos are, supposed to make Atlantic City the rival of Nevada. Of course, our friend's home there. It didn't. Remember that? Remember now, this stuff, I'm telling you, this isn't stuff that maybe you've heard about because I lived out back there. But the Trump universities, that was a for-profit college. They didn't get degrees. They promised, guest speakers and valedictorians and, high caliber teaching for the exorbitant fees, Andy, that they were charging. In an investigation, found out that they had just regular people in 2 cases. 2 cases I'm looking at, it's comical. 2 cases they had ex-convicts, like guys that got out of prison. Yeah, I'm going to teach philosophy. Okay. The what? Andy's like, are you serious? Yep. Trump vodka. Yeet, yeet, yeet. 2006 to 2008. The Trump Miss America pageant. That's all we all know about it. He was just asked to leave. I'm not going to get into he was just asked to leave by, after allegations by 6 contestants, 2 at one pageant, 4 in another. The inappropriate touching, walking in the locker room or the dressing room or whatever they have. Locker rooms for football. Dressing room when they were undressed, touching. Okay, was asked to leave. Did he own it? No, but he was a big sponsor. He sued and said that he owned the name and he lost. The television show, Andy, clearly the Celebrity Apprentice was a very, very successful television show. You had teams of celebrities, and they had to do this stuff for Trump, and you need to do this. He'd give them a chore, a punch a store, and they'd pit against each other, and if they didn't do very well, or didn't live up to Donald's the famous words, "You're fired." It was a good show. It was funny at first. Trump left the show in 2014 because he started, in 2013 and 14, he started speaking out about the show, that it didn't win an Emmy because the Emmys were all rigged against him, and that's how the Emmys work. And, he made a lot of waves in Hollywood. It's like, well, that's, the Emmys are rigged against me. Oh. Does that sound familiar? That something's rigged? Arnold took over. It wasn't very good. Now, I'm going to talk about this. I know sports, as everybody knows. I mean, I could do a sports show if I wanted to. So, I want to talk about the USFL. That was the original United States Football League that started in the summer, and it was started by some venture capitalists and businessmen, and Donald Trump was one of the investors and owners. I would say that his wheeling and his dealing and the way he ran things single-handedly brought the league down. Okay, it just his management skills. I mean, I just rattled off like how many businesses, casino. If you can't run a casino, you can't and make it work. Shit, people are like banging on the doors to give you the money. If he lived in Great Falls, Montana, he could not make 3 casinos work. But anyway, back to the USFL. He brought it down. There was money mismanagement, infighting. The league broke up. Trump basically sued everybody else in the league because they were didn't do what he wanted, and they were all against him, and blah blah blah. He won that lawsuit, by the way, and his award was a whopping $1. So, when there's when there's that kind of stuff going on. Andy, I think personally the indictment in Manhattan is just the beginning. We have 3 other things that are going on. We have the Georgia, first of all, we have the Manhattan things. We'll know more tomorrow. Stormy. The Georgia 2020 election interference by the Fulton County District Attorney. That's ongoing. We all heard the phone call. I've heard people say, yeah, it was a joke, play it off like this, and I heard the phone call. Okay? If I'm going to call, it was very incriminating. He wanted someone to do something illegal, and he threatened them if he didn't. And then there's the pair of investigations that are going on right now into the former president's actions around January 6th and the classified documents. And the thing that gets me is all the things that I've mentioned here. Other people, Biden had documents. He said, here they are. Come get them. Trump had documents. I don't have them. That's the difference. The people aren't realizing that. Clinton paid off with his money. Trump paid off with your money. Big difference there. A big, huge difference. Okay? And then, of course, New York State alleges that the whole Trump organization overinflated, underinflated, they lied to lenders, insurance, tax officials, and what have you. For an example, Monkey Business Media is a small podcast studio. So for purposes of taxes, it is a very, very small studio, not much room, not much cool in here. It's not big, it's not very tax worthy. But if I wanted my money, then I reverse that statement. It's like, well, shit, monkey business being it's huge. We got all sorts of cool shit going on here. Okay? That's what's going on in New York. That's exactly what's going on. You can't say you have a 100 square foot podcast studio for tax purposes and a 10,000 square foot tax podcast studio to get money lended to you. You're like, I'm only paying a small. Do you see the difference? Okay, that's the thing. And of course, he denies that. So that's why all the crap's coming down right now. We just got to hang on. He's on Truth Social, and he's calling for division, and he's calling for action against your neighbors, of course, your neighbors' dogs, children. So that's just kind of where it's at. Andy, am I right? I mean, we're going to have to wait. We have what's going on tomorrow, and we have 3 more. So this is far from over. Yeah, I know it. It's far from. Yeah, Andy's just saying he thinks it's going to drag on, a long time, if you know what I mean. All right, Andy, enough of that, man. That drives me crazy. We'll find out more tomorrow. Don't forget, though, man, Andy, today's Monday, so what's tonight? No, it's not Monday Night Football. No, tonight at 7:20 on CBS is the men's final game of the NCAA bracket NCAA championship. The game is on again at 7:20 p.m. and CBS, regular TV. Now, the game we got number five, San Diego State versus number 4, University of Connecticut. According to the thing I looked at just this morning, Andy, right? Which window? Bam. No one has a bracket alive at ESPN after over 2 million brackets were submitted. No one. My bracket was busted long ago. I think that, they're both Cinderellas. San Diego State got there in that last second. Geez. And the game it's good, go over. They win by 1. I think that UConn's got a defensive juggernaut actually going through the tournament. I've always believed that defense wins championships. Michigan Wolverines have not won the national championship in football because the defense hasn't been good enough. The last time we had a defender on a team that was good enough to bring us to the promised land was Charles Woodson in 1997. So defense wins championships. I expect that the University of Connecticut will win 5, and it'll be their 5th national championship. So that's my prediction. Women's was yesterday, no surprise there. None. Not as far as I was concerned. So, Andy, what are you doing? We're done already. But I haven't finished talking about my brackets. They were busted. It was really hurtful. I had no brackets, no one to lean on. I had not San Diego State, nor did I have UConn, making it even to the Sweet 16. Nobody saw that coming. So I know everybody's in an uproar. Andy, everybody's in an uproar. We got stuff going on tomorrow. Everybody's divided, arguing, pointing fingers, saying, why I oughta, calling names, shaming. We're all in this together. Calling names, being mad, yelling at your neighbor because of what's going on in Washington. Makes no sense to me, so knock it off. I know, yeah, Andy said knock it off and kiss your dog. That's right, it's that time, Andy. You say, you're doing the whirlwind kind of moving thing on me. Be nice. Kiss your dog, okay? Kiss your neighbor's dogs. Kiss all the dogs. You know, adopt, don't shop, spay and neuter, foster, rescue. You got Good Friday coming up this Friday. Got Easter coming this next weekend. Andy, are we going to be here the day after Easter? You don't know. Well, it's a work day. So, get along, kiss your dog, foster, rescue. Come on, man. Andy, it's World Party Day, so let's go. Let's go get some food, some drink, and party because it's World Party. Right, Andy? World Party Day. Till next week, have a great week. See you next Monday. We're out of here. World Party Day.